Why don't we talk about it? Let's talk about Alfie's Lunchtime. Dude, it's so funny, man. It's like, it's smart and funny. Like, yeah. So let's talk about that. Like, what gave you the idea to start doing that?
Well, kind of a good question. I think during this COVID thing, it's just had a lot of free time with the politics and everything going on this summer. It kind of hit a fever pitch, so there was just lots of material. And you get this feeling, I don't know about you, but you get this feeling building up inside you where I think a lot of people do when they display it in certain ways. Some people feel like they will tag posts and post it on their Facebook. Look what's happening right now. Post videos maybe. Or just write like a long thing about how they're feeling and this and this. And doing that for me has always led to like arguments online and this kind of thing. It's just I didn't really want to go there. A lot of negative energy. So Alfie's Lunchtime was sort of like an avenue where I could put out kind of how I was feeling without such a confrontational way as writing it, just like an image that was somewhat innocent. And maybe a couple people see it or not, it's okay. It was more like for me, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, and man, I think that what makes that way more brilliant than just like typing something out, and expressing your idea with words is it's not. Words are more like explicit,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then, with Alfie's Lunchtime, it's like, yeah, that's probably what he means, but like it could be interpreted in a lot of other ways too. Or it could be interpreted like at a wider degree of perspective, rather than just something that you say directly.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, and it's great because it like nobody's really safe, Nobody's safe.
Just go after everyone.
Nobody's safe at Alfie's lunch table. Yeah, I saw this video. There was like this compilation video about with Joe Biden in it, and it's just a compilation of him like sniffing little girls' hair.
Yep.
The video was surprisingly long, man. It was like 15 minutes long of just him like on public camera just like sniffing somebody's hair. So weird, man.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of great content out there.
So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with discipline and consistency, because you're doing that every day, yeah?
Yeah, I've been trying. I definitely missed. The most I've missed was 3 days in a row since June. I've been doing it since June, so that's pretty much every day, except for a couple of spurts here and there where I missed a day, missed 2 days, and 2 times where I missed 3 days in a row. So I've been pretty consistent, which it's kind of hard. It's pretty stressful actually, because sometimes you just can't think of anything, and then you don't know if what you're gonna write is like really offensive to people. It's like you're trying to be offensive, but not like so offensive. It's like I'm not trying to be offensive.
Like
actually. That's not the point. Actually.
You what you're saying is like you don't want to be hurtful, like you don't want to be cruel, but you want to try.
Yeah, it's not my intention to be cruel. It's just sort of getting at truth, and you use certain mediums to get there. Like with the one on Joe Rogan, it's like I use the medium of a woman in a mobility scooter, but she served the purpose of the idea, not necessarily she was the idea,
Yeah.
So that's where you start to offend people. It's just like, oh well.
Yeah. It's interesting that it's one thing that's interesting about that. Let's say for like the obesity thing, is like here in the Czech Republic, it's just like friends will just say, hey, you're getting fat. Like there's like absolutely no, well, I don't know. I'm not the one being called that, so I don't know how it feels, but there's like no, socially, there's no like damning of that. It's like, it just is what it is, like.
There's not a stigma.
Yeah.
Like there is in the United States where 40% of people are overweight.
Yeah. I guess that's more of a cultural thing where people are just more straightforward and kind of is what it is, and there's no there's people aren't sensitive like that over here as much. You know, God, the U.S. It's like fuck, man. I mean, you know, I had this interesting thing that happened to me when I moved here to Prague. Was like I started to notice that I had like my governor turned up all the way. Like I would go to say something and I'd stop myself, and then I'd go to say something and I'd stop myself. Maybe that's just because I'm an asshole and I say a lot of offensive things, but either way, like I wasn't really like being myself. Like I wasn't being as direct and as bold and as kind of it really killed my humor, you know. And when I moved to Prague, I started to like loosen up a little bit, and man, that felt really good to like just be myself and say what I felt and say what was on my mind. And you know, same thing with me. I'm not trying to be cruel, or I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything, but sometimes people's feelings get hurt, you know.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, you have a pretty old sense of humor, so I feel like you know what that's like to, you know, when you when you go down that path and people start getting offended. You probably have one of the boldest sense of humors I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like some of the stuff that you posted at ISCA, I was just like, whoa.
What do you mean, like pictures or things that I wrote?
No, drawings. Like when you're going around the wall and you're looking, like, oh, okay. And then I come to your wall, I'm like, whoa. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I guess that's got to come out somewhere.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah. So what about that? Like, how did that feel when you saw your comic on Joe Rogan?
Well, it was really surreal. I was like, how is this possible? You know, like when I had posted that, I only had like a couple hundred followers. Like I had like, and how did it go from there to Joe Rogan in like a week or two? Like it happened like overnight, and it was popping up on everyone's Facebook. It's like how like these people are messaging me who I hadn't seen in years, and just like, hey, your picture's in my Facebook feed. I'm like, what? Like it was just like it was just insane. So it was really cool. At the same time, it's like, man, I wish I spent more time working on that, because I really just did that in like an hour or something really quickly.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, where do I go from here? So I was like, it's not gonna happen again. There's nothing I can do that's bigger than that, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I guess so. I guess that's probably about as big as you can get right now. I guess you probably decided to start signing it a little bit more clearly after that.
I do. I put my Instagram handle on all my drawings, but people erase them. The ones that go viral, like when I find them, because you can do Google image search, and most of them they take my name off of it.
Oh, man, that's shitty. Like, have you thought of watermarking them?
Well, the thing is, since I do these drawings almost every day, it's like you don't know which one's gonna go viral, so it's just like the ones I think are really good, and I put my name in there, like nobody's really interested in it. So it's like it just seems like a lot of work to be hiding my name in it everywhere. And even with the name on it, people don't really search you actually, because I posted a drawing on Reddit that got 17,000 upvotes. You know, like 17,000 people saw it and upvoted it, and I don't think I got maybe like 1 or 2 followers.
Wow.
Like people, they look at the art and then they're not that interested in who created it. It's just like they look at it as an individual thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder, man, that's like a real bummer for artists, you know.
It is.
And images are just so cheap now. It's like it doesn't matter how much energy you put into it, because they're so accessible. They're so like people take it all for granted. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what we do here, you can show your support by becoming a Patreon. The link is in the description below. And which of your friends would like this interview and would like these comics? And which of your friends would be offended by these comics? Send this interview to both of them. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned by subscribing and hitting the notifications button. See you next time.